So this was one of my favorite paddles of the whole trip round Ireland. Um, so West Donegal, and over here we're heading to, this is Sligo to the left, and this is the last part of Donegal here on the right. And this is the distance I wanted to do. Actually, I also wanted to cross over here too, like cut off this whole corner as well if I could and go straight to Sligo. But this was kind of the plan. This is where I'd finished off last time around Malin Beg is here, Port News back here, underneath here. And I wanted to do this. Now it's going around Slieve League, which is the second tallest cliffs in Ireland. So I wasn't too sure how that was going to go. And then, yeah, that's the second little bit that I was hoping to do as well, which was crossing. I wanted to cut this all out if possible and do a shortcut, cut across to Sligo, which is a short distance. But anyway, this is what I was starting with. Day one, about 18 miles, leaving from here, and the conditions were good. Because I'm going around these high cliffs, I did ask for some help, and I had a friend who's a kayaker who was coming to join me, as I just didn't want to be out here by myself. When the cliffs are really high like that, there's no service, so you can't call each other, you can't even get in touch with the Coast Guard. It's So it's quite dangerous, and there's nowhere to get out. It's just cliffs the whole way around. So anyway, this is I was staying in Killybegs around here, and then I was driving the car over to this little point here, which is Malin Beg, which is a lovely little pier here, which we discovered. And you can see it's quite quiet around here, and the sea is absolutely gorgeous, crystal clear. Hi there. Here I am, Malin Beg Harbour. It's a little hidden harbour down here. I'm going to paddle one Slieve League today, and thankfully I've got some company. Auntie Bingham's going to join me in a sea kayak. Conditions look good. A little breezy, northwesterly, 10 miles an hour, but not too bad. So it's about 3 hour paddle, I think, today, about 14 miles to Killybegs. Wish me luck. These must be all proceeds going to Coastline. So that was us heading off from this little pier here. That was very nice. Let's see, see, is that fishing going on around here? On a lot of cliffs. But beautiful, clear water. And there's my paddleboard, and there's Andy getting all set up with his kayak. And this was really great having some company. There we go, setting off. There's Andy. Hey. Malin Beg Harbour. Lovely little find. Here I am with the board. Just about to set off. A few steps down to get in. So it's really nice having some company for a change, because it is normally me. Malin Beg, heading off. There's Andy. He's joining me. There we go. So, and this is us off. This is Malin. This is the Slieve League. Now it was fairly calm and flat. You can see a bit of swell running through. Oh, can you see Andy there in that last wee bit there? Just to get a bit of an idea of there he is there. This is just the start of it, so you can see the size of the cliffs. There he is there. Yeah, you do notice equipment. He has this bright yellow kayak, which is excellent for this sort of thing. So you can see each other. Like he was saying that my rash guard or my life jacket was actually really helpful just to see. Passing Slieve League, just right here, the highest bit. Here, very good. But the wind behind us all looking good so far. Yeah, it was quite nice being able to stand for a lot of this. Slieve League. Sweating a bit. Anyway, and can you just see him there at the bottom? Just about, look. And Andy loves caves too, so he was in and out of all these caves. You can just see him a little dot as we're coming up to the highest part. So when he was in the caves, I couldn't see him, obviously. That's him right on there. And yeah, and of course if I can't find him, I can't call him because the walkie-talkies don't work and the phone doesn't work either. So there were a few moments of like, where is he? Because it's just such a dot. Like this is where I generally tend to paddle a little bit further out from the rocks, but because it was nice and calm, um, Andy was able to go right up to the side of the cliffs. So this is about the tallest part. You see, there's absolutely nowhere to get out. So I'm standing here. Got a good bit of momentum coming around the side here with this is coming up towards the end of the steep bit and turning right in towards the long stretch of lots and lots of this. Anyway, you can see it's a nice day. Got some nice weather. And this is Slieve League from the sea. Cliffs of Moher is the tallest cliffs, but Slieve League is the second tallest cliffs. See all the little caves the whole way around. But they're the second tallest cliffs in Ireland, but there's one of the tallest cliffs in Europe, sea cliffs. Few photos. I'm taking some photos, and then this is me going around this corner. And this is literally just the other side. This is the end of that stretch. Now just turning around the corner here and ready to head round to towards Killybegs. And again, more paddling. So I had company, but we did spend a lot of the time doing our own kind of things. It was definitely still nice. Very nice having some company in the sea here. And so we just gone around the corner and we had noticed this little boat here. It's a rib. It looked a bit like Arnlai from the distance. And I had said, Andy, very rarely do you see a boat in the water. Like usually it's just me out here by myself. I'm taking a picture of Andy and there's that little rib behind him. And then out of the corner of my eye, in front of me, between me and the cliffs, I saw this very large fin come out of the sea just very quickly. And I just instinctually gave a little sort of, oh, but then it was gone so quickly. And then I just thought, did I make that up? Did I see something? But that's kind of what I saw. In fact, this is not the actual one. It was a bit bigger than that. It was a big black fin that I saw. And it was an instant reaction for me just to sort of like exclaim like woo, and then it vanished. And then I think if Andy heard me, I'm not sure, but anyway, he came right up beside and I was like, you know what, I think I saw um something in the water and it looked like a big fin. I wasn't sure. And in my mind, I was thinking, is it a shark? Do we get sharks around here like that wheel? Anyway, as soon as that happened, I lay down on my paddleboard like this and turned my camera around just to see if I did see something that it would maybe pop back up again. So, and as I did that, the boat cruised up. So this is what happened. Oh, where? So if you heard them there, they said, yeah. As soon as I said, I think I saw a wheel. Oh, a wheel? said, yeah. So all of a sudden, literally they just cropped up. They must have been keeping an eye on us. And as soon as I lay down, they popped right up beside us and they were like, "Are you okay?" And I said, I think I just saw a fin. Would that be have been a whale?" And they were like, "Yeah." They are the Marine Fisheries, and they cruising up and down here. Great job along keeping the coast safe and watching those people, not people overfishing, and also that there's no drug smuggling. Here's Andy up beside us chatting to them as well. Anyway, I was just more interested in what it was and where it had gone. And so we both we could see if now in the distance we could see a fin coming up and then a big long back and then it would go right under the water and it was just pouring off in the distance. So literally it went from between me and the cliffs, it must have gone underneath me and then just went as fast as it could directly away. That's kind of what it looked like. Now that wasn't the picture, unfortunately. I didn't get any pictures of it, but that's what it looked like in as it was clearing off. There's this all you could see was this big long back and fin. So the fin whale is the second largest whale in the world, second to the blue whale. So this is a long one, but this was an adolescent fin whale, so it wasn't full size. So there's me taking photos, and we were trying to watch. Andy was trying to paddle out past it. Just unfortunately didn't really get any footage of it. We could see it, but at a different height. And it just, but anyway, the long and the short of it was I was just really pleased that, you know what, the whale had no interest in me. I had been at this point starting to get quite nervous because I'd heard so many stories and watched so many videos on social media about people getting swallowed by whales, whales around the paddleboard and stuff like that. And you know what, this whale reacted like most animals do. And as soon as they know you're there, it clears off. It had no interest in coming up to me or anything like that. And I was actually just really glad for that because who knows, maybe another time I'd be by myself. But it was just so fast. Fin, and then it must have just noticed that I was there or heard me, and then boom, out of there. So this is pretty much around about where we met the whale. We're just paddling along here, heading into Killybegs. And so that was us talking to them. And they were just saying that this area, they'd seen whales here before. So they were just, and there's dolphins around here. Donegal is a good place for dolphins. Whales and everything. I guess it's part of the migratory route along the west coast of Ireland. So finally, this seemed to take us a long time. It's probably because we stopped and took so many photos and chatted. But finally, this is us coming into Killybegs Harbour. It's a very long inlet as well. So it was misleading. You paddled for hours and it was starting to get dark. But this is us just starting to come into the harbour. There's a lot of big ships here, fishing ships. And the size of these, you can't really see because um, paddling past, they're really big. And you can hear the motors running. Yeah, a little bit intimidating, but look, they look like Antarctic ships. I guess that's why they're like this, the front, cut through ice. Quite interesting. And then this was us paddling in. It's getting late now, and we were absolutely starving. We talked about dinner ages ago. We're just like going, please, Richard, put the dinner on the radio. Oh, that's Jack.
Do you see us
Don't you go too far further forward, that's far enough.
Do you see us on top of the house? Do you see me waving?
This is Jack trying to chat to me. And that they're on top of the apartment that we were staying in.
Are you on the radio?
Yeah, I'm just.
So the apartment I got backs onto the sea here. And that's Jack's
There must
job,
be-
because he has a walkie-talkie to guide me in, so. Just getting the slipway is literally right below the apartment.
Mom, do you see us?
No, I'm not even sure my radio's maybe not even on at this point. He's so excited.
Are you on the radio? Get on the radio and talk to Mum.
Mom. Should I shout down?
So that's us coming in. And, you know, we were so tired. And I guess this was probably about 10 o'clock at night. But we'd left the car, we'd taken Andy's car with all the boards on them here and the kayak, and we had to go back and get it. So thankfully the two guys went, Richard and Andy went, and I managed to get a bit of a rest, which was very kind of them because they had to drive all the way back. And this is what Malin Beg looked like late at night. And then that's us up in the morning. I think I just did a bit of body rolling because I knew I was going to be a little sore after all that. It was hours of paddling. It was at least 4 or 5 hours. And the apartment we were staying in was perfect, but actually they were putting down a new balcony. So it was a bit like a workshop on the top, and there were men roaming around. But you know what, it was fine. We could literally, we were just, that's the slipway there. You can see better video. So perfect for what I had to do for the weekend. I generally try and have somewhere close by. Now, this is misleading because it's such a sheltered area of what the sea is actually like. So this is us the next morning. We're wondering what the water is going to be like. So we'd driven back round to Ross Beg. So that's where I'd finished off last time. So I still had to do the Ross Beg to Malin Beg. So a bit of backtracking. Here's us getting ready to lunch. Cooking up our stuff. You can see Ross Beg and the cows in the fields. And we're paddling straight over there. Stacks again. Slieve League. So these are the stacks that we need to get to. So this is Ross Beg where I was last time. Remember I was saying that the cows are on the field. And this is just a few months later now, and we're paddling over to the stacks. This was us setting up. It was very nice. Here we are lunching from Ross Beg, heading over to Slieve League. See it over there behind me? Just round the corner from that. And last part of Donegal to Malin Beg. Conditions looking good. I've got Andy with me, kayaking. So got a bit of support on the water, which is great. Right, wish me luck. All proceeds going to RNY. So it was really good because, as usual, starts off really nice as we're heading off. Look at that, so clear. In fact, we saw a fisherman around here, and he was dangling these big crabs, and he was like, "Do you want one?" And I was like, "Oh, I've nowhere to put them." And so it was pretty good up to this point, but as we got a little bit further on, like up to here, it was starting to get really slow. This seemed to take us hours to get here, you know, and we all had like time scheduled. I think Andy was trying to get back at a decent time. I don't know if is that him up there underneath the, maybe not, but it was starting to get very choppy, and this was a very slow paddle getting out here. So I mean, it was lovely, but not as smooth as I kind of hoped. This bit was okay, but sun was shining, which was nice. Okay, Slieve League. So coming around these stacks. Quite slow going. Anyway, coming around here, it just seemed to have taken us so long to do this bit. But anyway, we were trying to get around here to Malin Beg. But we ended up coming in a little short through the waves. So managed to get everything drenched. So we came in, this is Glen Keel. Look at the state of me.
Here we are, Slieve League. We came in at Glen Keel,
Keel.
which is just literally around the corner is Malin Beg, where we started yesterday. So yeah, pretty happy with that. As you can see, bit of swell today, and it was just quite slow going with the paddling. It took us ages to go from headland to headland. So thought we'd call it a day here. But it's been lovely with the weather and everything, and big thank you to Andy for being fantastic support in this kayak. Okay, bye for now. Please talk to me. All process good on the line.
Again, yeah, it was really nice having some company for all of that. So you can see the waves coming in. Yeah, I got drenched. Sandy stuff. Now, problem being is even here on the shore, there's still no phone connections. So we couldn't actually call Richard, who was literally a short drive round at Malin Beg. So we actually we had to actually stop someone and ask them to go round for us. So I left my paddleboard. Thankfully, Andy decided to go with the guy round to get Jack and
Hi there, just waiting for my trip. Got out at Glen Keel today. This is on Slieve League. And just glad to get out. There's a lot of kneeling today because it was choppy, it was swelly, there was cross winds. It wasn't the calmest of days, but anyway, got it done. Slieve League has definitely been, the sun has shone, so it's been nice. I'm really glad to get out and stretch my legs. Yeah, another bit done.
And this is a very famous area here for weaving. It's a traditional Irish community. So Richard was literally just around the corner here having a lovely old time, which is that there's a nice beach here beside Malin Beg Harbour. So they had gone down to this beach, and you know what? They had a great time. It was really stunning, they said. That's Jack down there in the sand. They had a nice day. They had left a bit later and came round, and they were waiting down here. They were going to swim here, but actually they said there was massive jellyfish. But they said this was a really beautiful beach. So many stunning beaches around Ireland. One looked lovely. And anyway, that's us back at the car, packing everything up. So it's slow progress. You know, you've got to get there, paddle out, get your lift back, pack up the car, there's a lot of convoys going on. This is us on the road. This is what it looks like in West Donegal, all the wee sheep everywhere. Anyway, it was really stunning. So this is what we got done. So I was really pleased with that. We got Rossbeg round here, Glen Keel, Malin Beg, round into Killybegs. So that was the distance. So I guess that's why it took us so long in 2 days. It was a decent amount. And yeah, our massive highlight was seeing the whale. That was definitely very exciting. So yeah, first whale encounter in the water. And I remember seeing whales years before. Whenever I was in America, we went whale spotting in Cape Cod, and I remember like the boats would go up to the whales, and the whales would just try and swim away, and then they would sort of be chasing them around, and that's kind of what it felt like today. The whale had no interest, which was good news for me. Anyway, thanks for watching.